I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me. I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win, yeah.
All right, yeah. So, obviously my name is Keala Kanae, as you said. I am the co-founder and CEO of a company called A.W.O.L. And then we have several subsidiary companies under that umbrella. So we actually have a total of, I believe, 4 or 5 companies that we own at the moment, or that we either own or are in a partnership on. A little bit about my backstory. I was born and raised in Hawaii. Grew up with um, a pretty modest living for the most part. I mean, my mom cleaned homes for a living. My dad had a great job, but he also loved to, roll the dice. So not all of that money made it home at times, but it is what it is. It's cool. Um, so yeah, I just came from pretty humble beginnings. A lot of times I've had, people say things online like, oh, well, how bad can Hawaii really be? I'm like, listen, every area's got its ghettos. Okay. And I definitely didn't come up in like the ritzy neighborhoods. I came up like living right down the street from public housing. Right. I mean, houses across the street were getting robbed. Domestic violence all the time. It was pretty much the ghetto, as ghetto as you can get in beautiful paradise Hawaii. Anyway, so yeah, grew up with a pretty modest living, and eventually I did everything that society tells us to do. I went to school, I got good grades, I studied hard, I graduated high school, I got into the University of Hawaii, and I don't know, man. I just kind of quickly started to realize like I'm just not stoked on anything that I'm studying, right? Like at the time I was studying psychology at the university, kind of was thinking about going down the road of being a psychologist, but the idea of sitting in a room all day and listening to people's problems, um, I don't know, it didn't make me excited, but it was a career path. I had to pick a path, right? Like that's part of signing up for college. So I thought I picked something that I thought would be interesting. And yeah, by the end of my first year, I knew that that's not what I really wanted to do, but I didn't know where else to go. Luckily, I had a friend at the time who had the idea to create a uh, promotions business. So I was 18 years old, and we started a nightclub promotions business. Basically, at the time, we threw a lot of hotel parties and get-togethers, and we would charge people to come to the party. Right, like we had like this rule: like you either bring a case of beer per person, you bring 2 girls for every guy, or you pay to come in. That was kind of those were our generally our rules, right? And we just made it up as we went along, and we probably didn't collect all the money we were supposed to. Who knows? Okay. But anyway, through these parties, and a buddy of mine, just kind of figured out, hey, did you know that we could get paid to throw parties? Like it's called nightclub promotions, and every time somebody pays to the entry fee to a nightclub, that's going to a promoter typically. So we had no idea. So 18 years old, I got online. I learned how to make some fake IDs. We printed up some fake IDs, and we started going to nightclubs and telling them that we would promote their venue if they, and we got some contracts right out of the gate. We got contracts for crappy nights, like Monday night. Nobody goes out on a freaking Monday night. It was really hard to get that thing popping. But yeah, that was the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. And I remember being 18 years old in college with friends who were studying at the College of Business on the University of Hawaii campus. So they're studying business. Here I am, 18 years old. I have a business, right? Like I went down, I filed some paperwork. I have a business license. This says I'm a business owner. While these other guys are paying thousands of dollars to learn how to become a business owner, I was out there actually doing it, right? The school of hard knocks. And then that's basically how I entered into the world of entrepreneurship. And once I got the bug, like once I that flame was sparked, it was just impossible to put out. I never really made any money with the nightclub promotions. I never really made any money with anything that I did for the first 11, 12 years as a wannabe entrepreneur. I failed miserably from thing after thing after thing after thing after thing. And that tends to be part of the journey, I guess. Luckily, I didn't give up. And then to fast forward to 2010, I was promoting a real estate investment education. So I was like in direct sales. Like if I sold a package, I made a commission. That's basically how it worked. And I had a guy who was trying to help me, who had somewhat become a mentor at the time. And he was doing really good. I mean, I've seen him make as much as $60,000 in commissions over the course of a weekend, right? So he was trying to help me, but by that point, like I was pretty jaded with all the different things that I had tried out. And he was telling me, make a list of your friends and family members, get on a call with them, feel them out, get them interested. If they're interested, then get them on a phone call with me. And then we'll get them to, one of the hotel presentations, and then we'll sign them up for one of these larger packages and blah, that kind of thing. And at this point, I had tried so many things and failed. I was like the laughing stock of my family, right? I mean, a lot of us have been to one of those presentations where they tell you, like, make a list of your friends and family. And if you get 3, who get 3, who get 3, who get 3, we're all going to be super ultra rich and retire young. We've all been to those presentations, right? And I had done a few of those type of things. And basically I just burnt out my family. Like they didn't really trust my ability to succeed. They didn't really see me as someone who was legitimately going to have success in life. And let's be honest, like for most of us, that's just not a fun thing to do. Like make a list of our friends and family and then try to pitch them on something, right? So I went online one day and I just Googled like how to create leads on the internet or something along those lines. And that just took me down the rabbit hole of internet marketing. And so that was like my first, taste test, if you will, I guess, in 2010. Start to learn a little bit about it. That took me down this rabbit hole of buying all of these courses and, trying to learn from all of these different gurus and that sort of thing. And then I really didn't have any success with that until late 2012, which at that point I basically hit my rock bottom. I was working for minimum wage in a coffee shop at 29 years old. I was living in my mom's spare bedroom, damn near 30, but I couldn't afford the rent in Hawaii, right? The cost of living in Hawaii is pretty high. I mean, do the research. It's like one of the highest costs of living in the entire United States. And so minimum wage doesn't get you very far there, but that's where I was at. And it was August 13th, I want to say 2012, that I walked into my mom's bedroom and I was like, hey, Ma, I saw that you had that cardboard box full of old purses that you're going to take down to Goodwill. Any chance you'd be willing to let me take one of those out of there? And she said, sure, but why? And I was like, well, because, tomorrow is my girlfriend's birthday. And her and I had been together for 7 years at this time. It was like, tomorrow's my girlfriend's birthday, and I don't have any money to get her anything. So I was hoping I could at least give her one of those used purses before you take them down to Goodwill. So August 14th, 2012, I gave my girlfriend somebody else's trash for her birthday. And I think that for me, that was like one of those moments in time that like, that's the line in the sand moment. That's kind of the moment where I was like, drew this line in the sand and was like, listen, I'm never going to be here again. Right? Like this is just not happening. How in the world did I end up in this position? So that's when I got serious. At that point, I joined a community, an online community. I got around the right mentorship and training. I had people that I could ask questions. I had some support. And within about 7, 8 months of that, I had quit my job, was making 5 figures a month online. Went on to, do hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue there before creating what is now A.W.O.L, along with my co-founder. And, the rest is kind of history. So that's how I got involved in the industry.
Oh yeah, I'm stable. Oh yeah, no label. Oh yeah, you know me. I have only a path. I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. Yeah.